keep on. No one else can make me feel this way, and only you can bring out all the best I can do. How to leave a turpentine made me feel real good inside. Pushed me up, and I'm about to give up. You're on my side, and no one seems to listen. And if you go, you know the tears can't help but show. You know you've always had my heart. From now on we'll never part. It's your smile, your face, your lips that I miss. Those sweet little lies that stare at me and make me say I'm with you through all the way. 'Cause it's you that fills the emptiness in me, changes everything I see when I know I've got you with me.
Good evening and welcome to Conversations with Kathy.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be back. We've missed you. We took a short break, but now we're back, and this is our final show for 2020. So you are watching episode 2020 of Conversations with Kathy, and thank you for joining us for this very special show this evening. So first, I'd like to say hello. Wow, all the Lea fans are here in full force. Hi, Chelsea. Hello, Swift. Hi, Veronica. Please let us know where you are watching from. Hello, Cholo Amiana. Hi, Veronica Ladores and Mav Cabanday. Yes, I know you're all excited to see Lea, and we are so excited and grateful that she agreed to join us here on Conversations with Kathy. And we promise you that it will really be a very special show. So if you are a Lea fan, like we all are, do stick around until the end of the show because, yeah, we have a lot of very special things in store for you tonight. So thank you. Again, this is our last show for the year. Thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, so yes, I know we're all excited too. Hi, France. Hello, Chodora. Hi, Carla, all the way from Italy. Hello from the Netherlands. Wow, Cholo, we have audience from all over the world. So watching from Pampanga, Joyce from Las Piñas, from Cagayan de Oro. Ang dami, I can't like cope up with it. So, but anyway, thank you very much. For this evening's show, for our first segment, before we bring you Lea, we have a segment called Do Good, Be Kind. In Do Good, Be Kind, we feature businesses or individuals, who have set up businesses or are doing extraordinary things or kind things for the community. So let me bring you Do Good, our featured guest for tonight on Do Good, Be Kind. Welcome back. So, our feature for tonight on Do Good Be Kind is a very new company that is helping the Mangyan tribe. So, I'd like to bring in Porky Angala of Tribes Are Us. Hello,
Hi,
Porky.
Kathy. How are
Thank
you?
we're good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I love what you are doing with Tribes Are Us. So can you tell?
Mhm.
I know this is a relatively new business. Can you tell us why you decided to put up Tribes Are Us?
Well, yeah, it's a very young company. We just started during this pandemic because my sister, who was married to a politician, was based in Mindoro for over 20 years. And she was
Okay.
working there as a doctor. And then, I guess with the campaigns and with her medical career, she would go up to the mountains, to the tribes of Mangyan. She would visit them, bring them food, and then she would buy their weaves, their
Yes.
weaves,
For
their
you. Mhm.
bracelets, their, whatever they had, and it talagang so beautiful. So
Right.
when she put up the idea, she gave us the idea, that with with all these weaves,
Yes.
sabi natin, why don't we make masks first during this pandemic? Because we, it's very apropos to the time. So, during the early days lang, we got a big corporate client already. So we were busy with the
Right.
mask. Yeah. And
Right.
then after that, we said, why don't, since there's so many weaves, no, it was not only Mangyan, but we got
Mhm.
hold of, some Taal weavers. They
Right.
were, they were affected so much with the earthquakes and that the volcanic eruptions by typhoons. So we
Mhm.
also got there, we also purchased their weaves, no. So what then we decided, why not, come
Mm.
out with other things na lang para at least, it can be, for everybody, so
True.
what we did is, we came up with a kitchen collection. So, for those who are always cooking and baking now, we have
Right.
prawns,
Amen.
pot holders,
Yeah.
kitchen towels, and then we also got things for the house. No, we have throw pillows,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then we also had, I don't know if I showed you the baskets, because they make this weaves, this beads, no.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are Mangyan baskets, and then they just, they make also this bead. So what we decided to do, we put them around, and so many now, diba? So many now are plantitos and plantitas.
Yes, that's right. You can put your pot and your plant
Yeah.
inside the
So there, look at
basket.
there. So
Yeah.
there. So we're coming up with, we just say, sige, let's come up with new things para we can continue to buy their waves, and then,
Yes.
to see what we can do, and maybe, and we don't want to limit ourselves lang to Mangyan or Taal. We said
Yeah.
we'd try to support whatever tribes need the support, and
Yes.
if they have they have their products or whatever that we can do something with, then,
Right.
at
So
least we can
people,
help them.
yeah, so people can find you on Instagram, right? Tribes are
Instagram
us.
and Facebook, yeah, tribes are us, yeah.
Tribes are us. Yes. So how has the business, in a way, have you seen its impact on the community?
Yeah. Of course, because it's my sister who goes up to the mountains, no? So they're so excited because that, we're there helping them, we're buying their weeds, we're buying their, and also what we do is we buy beads, we buy threads, and then
Mm-hmm.
bring it up there, and it's up to them to, we tell them, okay, we want bracelets, we want weaves of these colors. So they come up, they're so creative, eh. So they come up
Wonderful.
with their own color combinations, and then they have their own ideas, like for example for the baskets. And then
Yeah.
of course kami, all of us, kasi this came out of also during this pandemic, my siblings and I, we started our Sunday Zoom sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
so everything came into place. My sister in Hong Kong, she does the write-ups. My
Oh,
brother in San Francisco thought up of the name. My
yes.
sister who's into garments is the one doing the production. And
Yeah.
then, of course, my
Galing.
sister Lucy, yeah, is the one. So it's a family thing. And then my daughter is the one doing the marketing. My son is doing the photography and the art design, everything. So yeah.
Right. So it's wonderful because you're helping the tribes, diba, with your products. At the same time, this endeavor has also brought your family, closer together. So that's,
Yeah.
I think that's a gift of the pandemic, diba? So
And I think what's important also is that the traditions stay alive eh. So,
yeah,
di ba, sometimes the weavers, they die, wala nang, there's
right,
nobody to
right.
support them. So we want to propagate it. We want these Filipino traditions to continue for
Yes,
generations to come.
yes, that's
So,
true.
yeah.
Yes. So thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Porky. So, you can see the products. Oh, I have pala an unboxing to do. Okay. So, thank you for sending this to me today. So, let me surprise, diba? I don't know
Yeah,
what's
one of our products.
is this how you like package your,
Yeah. Basta we
yeah.
do everything local.
Oo nga, ang galing.
Yeah.
So, di ba dahil Christmas? So, how nice
Oh.
you can see. So, there's a
So yeah,
stripe.
there's a sticker, yeah.
So, let me see before I. Oh, okay. There are two things inside. So, I have a mask. Very nice. How nice. With the ano pa, with the
Yeah.
to hold it in place.
Yeah.
Thank
And then the
you.
beads, they make that also eh.
So
There.
pretty. Also, they also make the beads pala.
Yeah, they also make the beads.
Oh,
And that
malaki.
one is taal naman. That's a taal
Oh,
weave.
oh, how nice.
It's a jacket.
Yes, I know. Teka, baliktad. There. Oh, how pretty. My God. Thank you. Thank you, Tribes Are Us. This is so pretty. I am
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah, it's no, yeah, nice, no, nice the colors. The colors of the taal are more colorful. They're more colorful, while the mangyansaman are more. They're more conservative. They're like, for example, like this throw pillow. See,
Yes. That's
they're very neutral. They stick to the blues, the blacks, the grays, and once in a while a pop of color. But it's really that taal naman that's very very colorful.
very nice. Very
Mm-mm.
nice. Thank you so much, Porky. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for what
Yeah.
you're doing for the tribe. So, friends, kung kulang pa kayo ng Christmas gifts for,
Yeah.
family or friends, check out Tribes Are Us on there. There's their number, there's their email. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook, yes.
And thank you, Porky, for my beautiful jacket and my mask.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat. Thank
Okay.
you. I'll
Yeah,
see you
thanks, Kathy. Thank you for your support, and
Christmas.
we'll see you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, don't go away. We'll be right back with Miss Lea Salonga.
We'll be back. Conversations with Kathy will be right back.
Welcome back. So I know all of you are already so excited. Kanina pa, I'm like I can't keep up with the comments here on the side. Leia fans from all over, from Europe, even in the United States. I know Zaida, my friend, who woke up at 4:45 a.m. this morning on her side of the world, because she's such a huge Leia fan. So when she said yes to come out on and join and guest here this evening, I was like so happy. Parang ito sa early Christmas gift for me and Cholo, and it's a Christmas gift to everyone who has been watching Conversations with Kathy. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring in Miss Lea Salonga.
Hi, Kathy.
Hello, thank you so much again for joining us
Sure.
tonight.
Sure, my pleasure.
I can't keep up with the comments here on the bus. They're like lead
Thanks,
on.
you guys. Yeah, I can see some of the comments now coming in. That's so sweet. Thank you very much.
They have missed you, and of course, every time you come out on social media, nakaabang everybody. So tonight, two things we want to do. We frame the show in a way that
Okay.
we do Leia by the decade. Okay, so
Okay.
we go and look back from the very beginning all the way to the present time, the pandemic, and
Okay.
maybe looking forward a bit because February next year I know is a milestone.
It is. I'm so
Right.
excited. It's a
Yes.
huge birthday next February. I have a feeling though that once I get to that date, it's still going to be pretty quiet. I don't think there's going to be much of a change from what we're going through this year, but it's perfectly fine. I mean, at the very beginning of this year, before the pandemic was even was a ubiquitous thing, it was like, how am I going to spend my 50th? Should I do a concert? Should I do this? And now it looks like it's going to be quiet, and I think something that I'll probably just have with my family, which is probably the best way to turn 50 anyway.
Right.
And then save the big celebration for, and my mom and I are talking about this, for February 22, 2022, which then it's all the number 2, and wala lang. I think the visual and the imagination of it, I think there's something more to it rather than this one pasaway na one digit. Like,
Yes,
no, I don't like. So when I turn 51 na lang, that's when I'll have my big
Yeah.
celebration.
Yes, and we will all look forward to that. Okay, so
Yeah.
before this is also like sort of in advance birthday di ba? Kahit walang big celebration, this is also like an advanced birthday celebration for you ahead of time. Okay,
Correct.
and before I ask you my first question, we have a video. We have a video from one of your oldest friends.
Okay.
All
You
right.
know, I mean, she was
Hey, John.
9, and Ku was the star of the show, but, you know, if Ku didn't know her lines, Lea would tell her, you know, and if she wasn't on pitch, Lea would tell her. I mean, Lea was always a professional artist, even at 9 years old, and she was a hard taskmaster. Many years later, she was 17. I remember Celeste Legaspi was president of OPM, wanted to recommend her to Cameron McIntosh, who was auditioning artists for Miss Saigon. And Mrs. Salonga would not hear of it because she heard that the role was that of a prostitute. But Celeste was very adamant, and she went after Mrs. Salonga. She kept calling her, and then finally she told Mrs. Salonga, why don't you just try, you know, have Cameron meet Lea, have her go there, and if you decide not to do it, then that's fine, you know, you have that choice. But let her go, you know, let Cameron hear her. If not for this show, then maybe another show. I mean, this is Cameron McIntosh. And of course, the rest is history. Lea accepted the role, and she was Miss Saigon. And as we all know, she became the Broadway star, the Filipino international star. But it was always destined to be. I mean, she was one precocious 9-year-old. I mean, no, even before she was 9, at a much younger age, she already recorded an album under her mother's label. I mean, she was just always talented. And I can't believe she's going to be 50 years old in February. I mean, the woman does not age. She's just, her voice stays the same. It's as clear as a bell. It hasn't changed. Lea is exactly the same. She was like that even as a child. She knows what she wants, and she goes for it, and she says what's on her mind. She has a daughter now and a very loving husband, you know, and times, you know, life has been good to her. But essentially, Lea is still the same person she was as a child. She's a responsible person, loving, you know, in her own way. I mean, I just can't say enough because, I mean, she's just Lea Salonga. You know, at 50 next year, Golden Girl, she still looks like, you know, if you close your eyes, you'll still hear that voice, you know, that voice that made Miss Saigon. I mean, the woman is incredible. She's an incredible person, an incredible performer, and I just can't say enough about her. Anyway, happy birthday in advance, Lea. I can't believe you're 50. I've known you for almost 40 years. No, more than 40 years now, since I met you at 9.
Wow.
Napakaaga naman ng birthday greeting na yan. Hindi pa nga tayo nakakaabot ng Pasko, may happy birthday na.
Oo, di ba? Talagang 2 months in advance. So,
Super.
meron pa yan mamaya, di ba? So,
Sige.
Oo, marami pa yan. So, okay. From an early age, and I remember that. Yeah, from an early age, you've already known what you wanted. You've always exuded, confidence. What was your childhood like? Could you share with us? And
What was
how
my
did it contribute to your confidence?
as far as I can remember, I mean, my childhood was normal. Wake up early, go to school, go home, and then there would be ballet classes or piano classes, piano lessons at home, which is how Gerard got started. I mean, I started taking piano lessons at about 6, and then my brother, just wanting to make gaya, he wanted to take piano lessons also. So he had his own, and so he got started that way. I enjoyed them. I loved that first piano teacher, and then she emigrated to the United States. And I had a few other fantastic piano teachers along the way. Then I stopped formal lessons at around 14. The love for it just wasn't there, even though I can say the love of music is still there. Gerard just kept on going, obviously, because he's now a conductor and an arranger, an orchestrator, sometime film scorer and composer. So our childhood, I guess, I can't really say mine because our childhoods are so linked. So the childhood we had was very normal. And I really can't, it wasn't really a remarkable childhood that can be marked by events of anything. I mean, I started doing Repertory Philippines 6-7 years old.
Yeah.
And I started performing, and I guess it's unremarkable to me because it felt normal to do. And because I started doing that from a young age, it was just a part of my life. And there were other artists in my family. There was a prima ballerina on, one of my first cousins. Another first cousin was also active doing theater. So for me to enter an artistic field,
Right.
in my family, I guess it wasn't out of the ordinary. It would have been weirder if I went into medicine or law.
We'll go there. So, I mean, when did you know, or how did your parents know that you and Gerard, had this extraordinary gift, if I may say so?
I don't know. I think my one cousin at one of our family parties was listening to me sing, because they'd get people to sing.
Yeah.
I remember there was a party, these mga makakapatid, like the Barredo siblings, there were maybe 3 or 4 of them. Somebody was playing a guitar, somebody was singing The Age of Aquarius from Hair. I remember that. Like there were 2 or 3 of them. And wala lang, they were just jamming. And this was in their house in Dominga in Pasay, near Saint Co, because they lived right near. You could see Saint Co from their front gate. So that's the kind of stuff I remember going on in my childhood. There was always music. I mean, my one other cousin from another sibling pa of my mom's, who lived a couple of streets away, she would babysit me. And her babysitting was more of her with her guitar and teaching me songs by Maureen McGovern, Olivia Newton-John. And then I remember listening to the Carpenters and ABBA, that kind of stuff on the radio that my parents would play. So I guess I was always just surrounded by music and by people who enjoyed music and had a passion for music and the arts. So I guess it's just one of the, maybe, I don't know. So as far as my own gifts and when they were recognized, I think it was my one cousin, Ria, the one who was active doing theater. Maybe she heard my singing and felt there's something in this kid that is right for what it is I'm surrounding myself with. So I think that sort of recognition came from her.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It just kept on going after that.
That's right. So yours is really what they say, it was a perfect combination of nature and nurture, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It was just, yeah. I'm not saying that everyone who's surrounded by music ends up in the arts or in the musical field. I think there was just a natural interest on my part. There had to have been, because if it was something that I did not enjoy or would not have enjoyed, then I don't think any suggestion from anybody would have been helpful, diba? So I think there was also something in me that must have wanted to be a part of that and found it enjoyable, found it a lot of fun. There were also a lot of other kids in the King and I, so it wasn't like I was the only one there. And I do remember all of us getting screamed at by one adult or another because we were all so loud and so noisy and magulo.
Right.
Yeah, Rahul Laurel was in that same cast with me, and Raymond Lauchenko.
Yeah.
And Rahul's like, when I talk to him now about it, when we talk to each other about it, because we work together a lot, he's like, oh my God, that was what got me started getting interested in costuming and design, because one of the stage managers locked him in a closet because he was so malikot. So it was in that closet that he remembered seeing costumes. He remembered seeing the gold ornament on, the ornamentation on a gown or something. And so that was something that kind of sparked his own interest in what he's doing now. So it's weird. The weirdest things happen. And that kind of gets something going. It ignites something.
That's right. That was Rahul's defining moment inside.
Yes. And he was what, 6? He was 6 years old.
See? Very impactful, di ba? Yes, you mentioned Sound of Music, and we have someone from Sound of Music who remembers you very much.
Okay, sino kaya to?
Hi, Lea. Do you remember the time when we both auditioned for The King and I? I was 12 at the time, so you must have been 7 or 8. Well, that's my first memory of you, so that's what I'll talk about. Do you remember how many kids went to Insula Life Auditorium to audition? Every kid wanted to be a part of The King and I, right? Except me. I only went because I was asked to chaperone my sister Menchu, who decided to be very naughty that day and pranked me by filling out an audition form and signing my name. So before I knew it, there was Dodo Lim, the stage manager, shouting out my name, Raymond Lauchenko, it's your turn. And of course I froze, because joining a musical for somebody as shy as me was the last thing I wanted to do. So I was just hoping that Dodo would skip me and move on to the next kid, right? But he didn't. He kept on calling my name. So I felt I was going to get into trouble if I didn't go up on the stage and audition. So I reluctantly made my way to the stage, and as I was doing that, terrified, from the corner of my eye, I saw you. And you had this radiant smile, and you were walking very, very confidently towards the gods of repertory. Tita Bibot, Tita Celia, Tita Baby. And I was watching you, and you went to them, and it seemed like you introduced yourself, and you were just so confident and so charming. Next thing I knew, you were already seated on Tita Baby's lap, while I was on stage trying to figure out how the heck I was going to get out of having to sing a song in front of all those people. Now, I've kept that memory in my mind for 43 years now, because it's been a reminder to me that when you have really big dreams, there's really no place for fear in your heart. And believing in yourself There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I saw that from you from day one. And I think it's the first step in achieving your dreams. So thank you for that, Lea. And when you turn 50 next year, I'm sure you're going to be shining even brighter, because that's what people like you do. They just get better.
That's so weird. I don't remember it at all. I have zero memory of that. I have no idea. So
Wow, your impact, right? Oh,
yeah,
imagine.
I was 6 at the audition, and then I turned 7 in the rehearsal. But I don't remember that at all. I remember getting up on the stage when it was my turn to audition.
Mhm.
I remember telling Tita Bibot, I don't have a nursery rhyme, I don't have a poem, but I have my scout oath. So that kind of confidence. Just, I was not intimidated at all, because, it was like, why? I don't know who these people are to be
Right.
intimidated by them. Kasi wala akong alam. I think ignorance was bliss and actually helpful.
Diba?
So, yeah.
Ano
But me ending up on Tita Baby's lap, I think she knew, because she knew who my mom was. Because my mom was her brother's sister-in-law. Because her older brother was married to my mom's older sister.
I see.
So that's why there's a familial
Yes.
connection already. So I guess maybe she saw me and recognized, this is the daughter of Bebeng. So I would check. If I sat on her lap, it was just because I was practically her niece.
Right.
So yeah. So I don't remember any of that though. Yeah, it just didn't. It wasn't something that etched itself in my memory. But if Raymond remembers it, then it must have happened. So sige lang. Okay lang.
It's like a trip down memory lane, diba? As how other people remember you. Yeah. So what do you remember the most about that time in your life? Like Sound of Music, you had Risa Hontiveros there, and Menchu, and Monique.
Yeah, and Raymond also was there.
And Raymond, yes. When you look back on your time now, I mean, that period, what stands out for you?
Very little from the actual performing. Not a whole lot, because that's the job. That's what you do. I remember feeling completely cold in Meralco Theater doing Sound of Music. I remember my hair always having to be done up like something on top of my head so that I would look taller than Monique, who was a year older than me.
Yeah.
But she played my younger sister. I remember watching certain scenes from backstage. I remember quick changes in the dark. That kind of stuff will kind of stick. I remember choreography with the Aldeguer sisters. Now, here's the thing. The Aldeguer sisters were huge stars also as performers. And if you were a performer, you knew who they were. Like, I remember watching like a TV show, like Seeing Stars with Joe Quirino on a Sunday night. Things like that, diba? When you were a kid, it was like this variety show. So all of these stars, all of these artistas would go and just hang out. And it was, I remember it being a lot of fun. And so I would see Lali and Terry, and they would be dancing, and the head throws and the hair. I remember the hair. So it was interesting to see them in the rehearsals with their hair pulled back, but still have those famous faces, Tita Lali and Tita Terry, and just getting down on their hands and knees to choreograph the show. And it was like, oh my God, it's the Aldeguer sisters. I remember freaking out a little bit, I think, the first time I met them in rehearsal. But they were always so lovely, so beautiful, gracious, always smiling. I never saw either of them lose their cool in a rehearsal ever, never lost their temper. They were always very patient. Things like that I will remember from doing the Sound of Music. From Annie, the one really big memory for me was working with the dog. That's the hugest. It's a huge deal working
I
with a dog.
know there's a story going around that you were like scared. Is that true? Scared of
Yeah,
dogs?
I mean, I was because here's the story that as I remember it.
Okay.
The first dog that they got to play Sandy in the show
Yeah.
wasn't a trained dog. It was like the pet dog of an ambassador friend of sila Tita Bibot.
Okay.
And it was tame. It was a beautiful, like a retriever. It was a golden retriever, but with deep red hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it's a beautiful dog, but parang I had a feeling it could not do anything on command. It will not sit on command. It won't just, so it's basically just kawawa din the dog.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one number, I hugged the dog and the mouth of the dog is like really close to my face. And I think there might have been something that distracted the dog. So I got snapped in the face. So there was a tooth that grazed the side of my face. And then I remember the smell of Spanish cologne because it para to sterilize whatever was there. And so, of course, Tita Bibot, I think, and even Tita Baby, they were so nervous because what happens if this kid decides to quit because she's scared of working with the dog? So they decided to hire a trained dog, and they hired a dog named Jabbar, who was this beautiful German Shepherd that had appeared already in movies, did action films with like FPJ. So they got a professional working animal. And so there weren't any issues after that. And I just made sure that I spent time with this dog every rehearsal, that I was the one who had to handle the dog. There would be times when I would have to sing Tomorrow and the dog would just not stop barking for whatever reason. So there's also that. So it's like, I cannot lose my concentration just because this dog refuses to cooperate. It's like, no, I will hold myself here and I will sing. I don't care what this dog does.
Wow.
Sige lang.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what kind of command I would try to use with the chain. I think it was trying to look for the trainer, but couldn't find him. So it was the dog might have been panicking. But yeah, it's the funny things, the things you remember.
Imagine you were so young, you weren't really crazy about dogs, but you managed to overcome that fear. How are you with dogs now?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. No problem.
Oh, okay.
No problem now. We have 2 dogs here at home. Yeah, so it's like, of course, they're very, very small. Yeah, but I don't have an issue with dogs unless, of course, the owners give advance notice that there's something up with the dog, so don't go near the dog. And there are certain breeds I've heard that are much more protective of their owners, of their people. So best to not mess with them. So it's just, yeah, but there are dogs who are just, I remember an aunt's pit bull, very, very big. But it was like the nicest, the kindest dog. And it was just always, it loved human attention. It loved being touched. It was just the most gentle animal. It looked like it could kill you, but it was like the sweetest animal.
Can be the sweetest, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Before my next question, another, di ba? Talagang parang birthday show na eh. So,
ano ba to, Kathy?
there's another person who would like to, we have a video. Okay, Cholo?
Okay. What I remember most about Lea is her incredible memory. I mean, she knows everybody's lines. Whether you're in a play or in a musical, she will know your lines, she will know your notes. So it's really quite terrifying to be in a scene with her and not know your lines, because you know she's going to know and you're going to hear about it if you don't say the right line. It's incredible. She's amazing that way. Her memory is amazing. Well, she's amazing, and her discipline when it comes to work, it's admirable. She's just so amazing. Having attained so much and yet be as humble as she is and really do the work. It's incredible. I'm very proud to have been able to do many shows with her. She's an inspiration. My wish for Lea is to have continued health and happiness for her and her family, and for her to know that I will always be here for her because she is a true friend. Love you, Lea.
I'm just here laughing at Menchu. I don't think I'll remember everything that she just said because I was just here by myself laughing. Because I'm not used to seeing her so poised like that.
Oh,
No, because I mean when we see each other, it means the work. You're sweaty, you're loud.
yeah.
So to see her so dignified like that,
Oh, diba?
it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's bagay naman to her. And I mean, we'll always say that she's like the first lady of Philippine musical theater because it's true. And she's so funny and she's so on it. I mean, she talks a lot about my memory, but all of the theater people, a lot of the theater people. I'll say a lot of the theater people because there are some people who no. There are, but most of them are incredibly disciplined, with incredible memories as well. I mean, if you don't have a memory that's that good, you won't survive.
Yes, definitely. So there's
Not
a
in the
question.
field, yeah.
Yeah, is your memory photographic?
I think it's one of those things where I have to see and hear something in combination for it to really stick. And I don't know what that's called, but I think there are certain things that I see something and then it'll kind of take a snapshot in my head, but it doesn't happen with everything. It happens though with music. When I really put my mind to learning something, it doesn't take me too long to learn a song, unless it's Sondheim. Then I really have to take my time with it. But if it's a pop song, it usually doesn't take me that long to learn it, to learn the basics of it.
Right. And so young. I mean, even from a young age, probably the discipline was like really there. Is that like something innate or,
I don't know that it's innate. I think that's something that you have to learn. And I think it's something that you need to be trained to do. But it also has to be something that you willingly and lovingly accept as part of this thing that you love. I mean, and then discipline, it's not just, eating right, showing up on time. Showing up on time is only part of it. And you actually have to show up early to be on time. And I get panic attacks if I'm in traffic. And in my head, it's like, I'm going to be late. Even though I know that I won't be. I get panic attacks every time I work in a theater show.
Okay.
It's because it's like, it's just an unacceptable thing to show up late because everybody will look at you with judgment. And no exception. It's good to know that's the environment. It's good to know that that's just one of the rules of the game.
Right.
And it's good when you know that all of the other players play it the same way that you do. It's fun. Yeah, and that everyone takes it as seriously. And then it's just so much easier to enjoy the work. It's just then you don't think about, this person showed up late. Is this something that we're going to have to get used to from this person? Thankfully, it's like when I work in theater here in Manila, everyone is so serious about the work, but humorous about it also. And it's good. It's good that everyone has a sense of humor in working on something as hard as theater.
That's the Filipino, right? The humor is always there somehow. Okay, so at about around this time, you're a teenager, right? So
Okay.
I got to no video kasi siguro shy. But anyway, I got to talk to one of your oldest and dearest friends. Okay, so
Pero walang video. Sige lang. Sige.
Walang video kasi mamaya kwento ko na lang sa'yo. So it's very interesting. Her story, how you met.
Yeah, it's one of Yes, I do. I remember that.
Yeah. It has something to do. This is Steffi, right? And it had something to do with
Del
Menudo,
Rosario.
right? Steffi Del Rosario. She said Menudo was. This is the first time that you met in Gifty.
Yeah, we met in, I think, Tokyo in Quad, when
Mhm.
Quad still existed.
Right.
And this is a bunch of my friends from college.
From Ateneo, yeah, yeah.
Ateneo, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
So you went into the Ateneo. See, that's you by, I don't know, it's one of the dorms. I think it's Servini or Eliaso.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
With
hanging
your,
out. I think, yeah, with my friends.
that's right. And you were in BS Bio, correct?
BS
In Ateneo.
biology. Yeah.
Yeah. BS Bio. So did you wanted to become a doctor at
I
that?
actually did. Yeah. I
Yes.
actually wanted to become a doctor. I was just interested in biology. I had a wonderful biology teacher in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And wala lang. I just enjoyed the classes. I enjoyed her teaching. Um, I didn't like chemistry very much, but I liked biology. So yeah, I think it was something that I was definitely wanting to get into, and so I went through the application process. I applied to two schools. I applied to Ateneo and I applied to UP, and I got accepted to both. And ultimately, I decided to go to Ateneo. It felt less intimidating, I guess, coming from a small high
Yes.
school.
I see.
And even then, Ateneo felt so big. But I made some really wonderful friends during my time there. Um, Friends who are still my friends now. Um,
Right.
and I just remember it being, I don't think it was necessarily a life changing experience, but it was definitely something you had to get accustomed to really quick. Um, and being surrounded by all of these students. But after a while, it stops being overwhelming. And it's like, I have 10 minutes to get to this next one, to get to my next class. You run, you book it from one end of the school to the other end of the school. And
Exactly.
yeah, so I had to run from, where was this? Bellarmine to
Bellarmine
Gonzaga
to
in 10 minutes.
right. And this was your year in Ateneo was your year before Miss Saigon, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
entered Ateneo 88, and then I left for London in 89. So I was, when I auditioned for Miss Saigon, I think I was already in my second semester.
of
Um,
your freshman
yes,
year.
of my freshman year. It was November. So yeah, tama. I was in my second semester in Ateneo, and I was already asking. And once I had gotten past a certain point of auditioning,
Mhm.
I would start to talk to my friends, because it looked very highly likely that I would
Yes.
get in. Unanimous. Everybody said, you have to do it. You have to go. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and Ateneo is not going to go anywhere. So just do it. So I'm like, okay, and I did.
Yeah. And the rest is history. But how did you feel, when you got the part? When you got the part of him?
I wasn't, here's the thing, I wasn't jumping up and down in the way that a lot of people
Would
do
think.
when you get a role that big. I
Yes.
think because I really had no idea what I was going to get into. So I had no idea of the magnitude, of the scale, of the bigness of it. I didn't know, I wasn't aware. And it probably was good that I was not so aware of what all of this was. So when they said, we're going to cast you in this, but we don't know what part yet you're going to play, that was literally what they told me. And my reaction was, okay, ganon, stoic, deadpan,
Yeah.
not excited. I think it was helpful knowing that I had a life that was full and fun in Manila. So for me, if I got the job, okay. If I didn't get the job, still okay. It wasn't like a make or break. I have no backup plan kind of situation where there was desperation to get the part. It wasn't there. So because I did not, I didn't seem super duper interested. I mean, yeah, sige. I'll audition for this and I'll work hard and I'll learn all this music and whatever for the process. And I think it was just helpful for me to, to want to do well, but if I didn't get the job, it was fine. So I think I wasn't reeking of desperation. So I think that ended up working in my favor, to not be intimidated by the process or by the people.
It's true. You were just so chill about it, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it was good that I was chill about it, and I think I stayed pretty chill for the most part, even during everything. Yeah, I think it served me well.
it did, definitely. Now we can say that, yeah, it really served you well. So let's jump to 1992. How did you react when Disney told you they wanted you to be the singing voice of a Disney princess?
Okay, that was one audition that I really wanted to get. A lot of the women in Miss Saigon, by the time that I got seen for Aladdin, a lot of the ladies in our show had already auditioned for it. And I could already hear mga usap-usapan amongst them na, parang, did you audition for that Disney thing? Did you audition for that Disney thing? And I'm like, what Disney thing kaya are they talking about? And then there was one day, I think in winter of 91, 92, when there was a note from the casting director of Aladdin, a note for me that said, we've been trying to look for you. We've been trying to get in touch with you. Can you please get in touch with us? Can you please call? So, voila, I got, then I gave the casting director a call, and then I went in to audition for Aladdin. And I auditioned for Alan Menken and Tim Rice, and for their music department, and with the directors. And Alan Menken already was kind of legendary from doing Little Shop of Horrors, which is a musical that Cameron also produced. So Little Shop of Horrors, and then The Little Mermaid, and then Beauty and the Beast. So those were the hits leading up to Aladdin. And then I sang Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid for my audition. And I remember them telling me, we're gonna bow our heads because we don't need to look at you. We just have to hear your voice.
Yes. Right.
So I was like, okay, since I don't look cute today, okay lang. It's fine. So I sang. And then after I was done, Alan Menken went to the piano and started raising the key little by little, I guess, to see how high I could go. So yeah, so that's what happened. Wow. So that's why A Whole New World is so high. I think he needed to know if I could sing in that key. And yeah, so I did. And that definitely was a career-defining moment, to get into a Disney film that ends up being watched and beloved by so many generations of children and adults. Yeah, I mean, I hear I grew up listening to your voice kind of thing, which is a really sweet thing to hear.
Yeah,
that you were part of somebody's childhood.
Right.
That they would watch this movie and it would bring them enjoyment and comfort and fun. And it was, and at least I can say I got to work with Robin Williams in a film, even though I never met him. It's one of those weird things to do an animated feature, and be able to say something like that.
Exactly, yes. And that was such a beautiful song. Okay, let's jump to 1995, which a lot of people I can see in the comments.
I have a feeling I know where they're going.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. So, what was it like, to do a film after a chain of roles in iconic musicals on Broadway?
Film is not one of the. It's not something I'm automatically comfortable with. There are people who are just magical.
Yes.
On film. I am not one of those people. I mean, I can act on film. It takes me effort. It takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more on my part. Doing theater for me is like breathing. It's like it's where I feel most comfortable. Right. Doing film is like I really have to think, and you have to wait for however many months for feedback.
Yes.
So that's the part. Whereas doing theater, right away you'll get feedback from the audience if you're loved.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an uncomfortable medium
Mhm.
And I think it always will be. It's just not. It's just not. I mean, there are people who just glow,
Yeah.
like they have a special on them all the time.
Mhm, mhm.
I am not one of them,
No, no, no.
but I mean, I'll do a film, sure.
Yeah,
But it's not my go-to medium.
yeah, because
As a
everybody
medium,
everybody here is like asking, wala namang part 2 yung sana maulit-ulit.
yun na
Sana
nga eh, that
maulit-ulit.
people are asking. I mean, the first movie that I got to do with Aga was
Yes.
even it was after it was just before Les Mis. So Aladdin had just did it just did it even come out yet? I mean, I can't remember, but around it was around the same time.
Yes, yes, yeah.
And to hear Aga talk about that first movie and what it meant to him, it's that it wasn't just a movie for him. Because at the time that he did the movie, he was like, wala akong career, wala akong pera. So the movie, in a way, resurrected whatever career he was trying to salvage at the time.
At that
And it meant a lot to him. And I didn't know about all of that until so much later. Yeah, so it was a surprise to learn what his life situation was, because he never said anything
Right.
when we were working on that first movie. Wala siyang sinasabi. By the time we did the second movie, obviously his life was much better. He was already doing like a chain of films. He was a sought after romantic lead for film, because he's one of those people who always looks like there's a special following him everywhere. He's just, it's not that he's handsome. That's not the thing. Eh. I mean, yes, he's guapo, but
Yes.
there are people who are guapo and have up and fall completely flat on film.
True, true.
And then there are people who are not so guapo, but it's like gumagwapo when they're on film. He's just one of those rare creatures that's both.
Guwapo na.
He's
That's
really
all.
handsome in person. In person, it's like you look at him and it's like,
Yeah.
anong klaseng tao to? That kind of beauty is just not ordinary. And then when he's on film, something else happens. And it's like his eyes talk on film.
Yeah.
And
Nangungusap.
it's nangungusap yung mata. So it's like, so I'm watching him and trying to observe and be completely objective about performances that he does on film. And I'm like, how on earth is he able to do these things? Just trying to dissect the craft. And for him, it's I don't think he even thinks about it. It just happens. And for him, it's just innate and natural and completely annoying.
Yeah, so I guess the working relationship was very good, and you've remained friends all these
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
Just
he's
20
also one of my neighbors. He only lives about less than 15 minutes away.
away from you, yeah. That's like 25 years, tama? 95, yeah, that's like
Yeah, so it's 25 years? Yeah.
25, tama.
Yeah, we were so young. My God, we were so young.
25 years ago, Silver. Sana masundan, di ba, after the pandemic. Everybody's looking forward to a Lea.
Yeah, I mean, people have been going after us for doing a movie. Yeah, but I don't know if it's necessarily a priority. I mean, he has a TV show now on TV5, I think. Yeah, Masked Singer, that's what he's doing. And I'm busy. Even the funny thing is during a pandemic, and I'm still busy. I'm not complaining. I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we're both busy with our own
That's true.
individual endeavors. So I don't think it's necessarily a priority. The script has to be something really special for us to want to do something.
It has to be a really good story,
Yeah.
for you to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump to 2002. Proof. Okay.
Proof.
Proof. Yeah, you did one of your first straight plays after years of work in musical theater. Did you find it difficult to transition
Yes.
to performing in a straight play?
It's hard. Yeah, which is one of the reasons why film is not one of my favorite things to do. It's nice doing a musical because the cadence and the pace, for the most part, because of the music, has already been predetermined before I even enter the room. It's already there.
Yeah.
And if anything needs to be changed, then it has to happen in a very organic sort of way. But
Right.
doing a straight play, that's hard. Because I go in flying completely blind. I don't know what the cadence is supposed to be. I don't know what the rhythm is supposed to be. And a lot of it has to be created by the actors. So if I'm surrounded by really good, gifted, fantastic people who are so used to this, then it's easier for me. Then at least I have examples to follow, and then I have people to whom I can go to for advice. And our director also has to have a strong handle on the material. Then I'm more easily guided. But doing straight plays is not easy. It's uncomfortable. But I think it's gotten easier over time, just by doing the work. It gets easier.
Yes. And with you, diba, if you didn't say it was difficult, we all thought it was like seamless.
Yeah, but that's also part of the job. We're supposed to make it look easy. But before that happens, we have to put in a lot of work in order to make it look easy and not difficult for the audience to be watching us.
True. Okay, before I go to the next set of questions, there's a quick video from a friend of yours.
Okay.
Lea had this amazing photographic memory. We met her for the first time outside the stage door of Miss Saigon in London. At the time, she was the toast of the West End. She was 19 years old. And we were fans. We were in London. It was right after our graduation. We were there for the first time in Europe, and we were very excited. So our first stop was London to meet Lea right outside the stage door as fans. And so we were waiting there with a lot of other Filipinos, and she came out and she signed some playbills and she took some photos, and then she chatted a bit with us, and then she left. And of course we were thrilled. And then years later, when we were friends, she said, "Look, I have a photo of the first time we ever met in London. You were with your sister Jackie, your cousin Monique, and Margo Ortigas, and here, see, we have a photo." And so it's like amazing how she remembered when we had just been one of many at the time. Oh my God, can't believe you're 50, a golden girl. You're the baby of all of us. How can that be? Anyway, for the next half of your life, wishing you a lot more love, joy, and lots of hot, passionate, you know what. Happy birthday.
Yeah, she was one of my best friends in New York. She's still one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's how we met. We met back, at the stage door of Theatre Royal Drury Lane. And my mom, I think, still has that picture in one of the photo albums that she keeps. And when we were both living in New York, we were always together. We just clicked. We hit it off. We liked a lot of the same things. Whenever there were relationship issues for either of us, she would be the one I would run to. I would be the one she would run to. And it didn't matter where in the world we were. It didn't matter. It was always worth paying the extra however many dollars for long distance calls. At the time, walang FaceTime. At the time, walang Facebook. There was none of that. There was email wasn't exactly as easily accessible. So it was just So wherever either of us was in the world, we would always, make our friendship a priority.
Wonderful.
So, yeah,
it's wonderful to have a friend like that. And only a real friend can, tease you about certain things, right?
Oh, yes.
So let me just segue a bit, just a little bit into the personal. So what is it about Rob, from among the many manliligaw and, diba? It was Rob. So what was it?
So what can I say? I think when we initially met, actually, I wasn't all that interested. because I had just gotten out of another relationship. So it wasn't anything that there really wasn't anything that was strongly compelling me to go out with this guy until enough time had passed. And then we became more interested, and it happened pretty quickly. One of his cousins was working with me in Flower Drum Song, and she was going on and on and on about him. So what made him different? His kindness, the fact that he didn't really have a great awareness of who I was a plus. Because nga, if you're too aware of my resume, then I'm a little suspicious. But because his only knowledge of me at the time was Princess Jasmine, I think it worked in his favor. So, I mean, he was always really, really nice. Not a loud guy, put his family as something of great importance to him. And, later on, as our relationship just kept growing, it's like I see how he is as a father to our daughter, how he places her as his priority. So, yeah. So at the end of the day, he was just a really good person that I felt very strongly about, because nga mabait. And yeah, so those are the things I think that he had in his favor.
Okay. One piece of marriage advice that you would give to, like, let's say somebody approaches you,
Yeah.
asks you for marriage advice. What is one piece of marital advice that you would give?
Forgive.
So, importante yun. Yeah.
That's it. That's the only piece of advice I can give. Forgive. That's it.
Forgiveness will come quickly is what you're saying. Tama?
Yeah.
So I get
Do
that.
it quickly. Yeah, do it quickly. Don't go to bed without having had that.
Yes.
That's really it.
Yeah. Don't let the sun set on your anger. Parang ganon.
Yeah.
Parang ganyan. Okay. What's the best thing about being a mom?
Oh, watching my little human grow is the best part. And watching her figure out who she is fun. It's fun. There are things kasi that I'm not a helicopter mom. I'm gonna say that. Given what my travel schedule is, given the kind of work that I do, I'm not the type of mom that hovers.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Good.
Ayoko. I don't like being that kind of human only because what? Do I determine everything for her entire life? It's like no. So even this early, we give her the room and the space to figure out who she is. Because I don't want her to be 25 and ask the question, sino ba ako bilang tao? I want her to know who she is as best as she can while she's still this young. So, yeah, she knows that she's an introvert. She knows that she thrives in situations of solitude and isolation. It's like her teachers tell me she's thriving in this pandemic as a student. And I'm like, okay, so I guess she's an introvert. And because also she's in her last year of grade school, I don't have to make her to talk with anything. There's a lot of stuff that she has to do on her own. I just have to ask the question, were you able to finish your homework? And then she'll answer truthfully. Because I'm not going to lose my top if something's incomplete. I'm like, and I tell her, there's only so much nagging that I can do. Because the rest of it is on you. I cannot do the work for you. You have to do it. So just watching her figure herself out has been probably the most enjoyable thing about parenthood. And I'm actually quite proud of myself that I'm not a helicopter mom. No offense to the helicopter moms who are watching this. That's just not how I.
That's not your style. Yeah.
That's just not my style. That was my mom's though. To a point.
Yeah.
Academically, she left me alone because I was doing fine. Both Gerard and I were doing fine.
Right.
But yeah, for me, it's like this. I'm not going to make you bantay. At the end of the day, you're accountable for your actions.
It's true.
You know, and I'm not going to try and rescue you if you do something wrong. That's on you.
Yeah. It's very good training, actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
for
good.
life. Yeah.
Diba? Okay, let's jump to allegiance.
Okay.
You played a Vietnamese in Miss Saigon, Chinese in Flower Drum Song, and Japanese, right? In Allegiance on Broadway. Do you hope to one day play a Filipina in a Filipino-led musical on Broadway?
Yes, that would be fantastic. I mean, for films, I have actually played Filipino twice. Once in Yellow Rose, which is the
Right.
most recent film that I got to do.
Yes.
And I'm very proud of it. It's beautiful, and it's coming out on
December 22.
December 22 on Prime. Prime, I think so.
iTunes, yeah, iTunes and Prime, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Prime Video. I should know these things, right? So a Prime Video is coming out on December 22. And then I think it will be on Blu-ray January 5. Yeah, these dates need to get stuck in my head better. But yeah, so if in Yellow Rose, and then in a guest appearance on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. So I was in the finale of season 1, and I got to play Filipino.
Yes.
So I got to call somebody ate, which was so much fun. I got to watch a Filipino American wedding being dramatized for this comedy, and
okay.
it felt so nice to be able to see my culture portrayed so beautifully,
Right.
and be able to sit there as a Filipino amongst all these people and seeing everything done right. It was like, the men, they're in barongs and they all look so guapo. It was like, this is it. This is the excerpt from it.
There, see? Oh, diba? Okay. So, speaking of a Filipino musical, I have someone who actually spoke about that in a message to you.
Okay.
Lea has had a phenomenal career spanning over 40 years, but I will always remember her as this cute, be-dimpled little girl who walked into the Insular Life Theater to audition for Repertory Philippines' production of Annie. She was all but 9 years old, but she was pitch perfect, and the moment that she opened her mouth to sing Tomorrow, we knew that this girl's future was not only bright, but that she was going to be a star. And that is indeed what has happened over all the years. Of course, I can sit here and talk about her many great achievements, but we all know about it. What I do want to say is the one thing that I have come to appreciate and admire about Lea is that in the last few years, since her coming back to the Philippines, she has gone beyond just being a world icon, but she has become very other-centered. It is so easy to get wrapped up in one's achievement and one's stardom, but Lea has grown to become very other-centered, to become a mentor, a coach to a lot of young people, whether it's pop singers or, of course, theater people. Every time there is an audition for an international show, she's there rah-rahing, cheering everybody on. And when they do make it, she writes about them. When she can, she goes to watch people's shows, and always very encouraging, always ready to pitch in and give of her talent when our industry needs it. And that's why I admire her so much. It is like, a pebble making such a big impact into the river, and then the ripples just far-reaching and impacting so many lives. So Lea, thank you so much for giving of yourself. You have really become an inspiration to so many, many people. And if I had any wish, it would be that you would do an original Filipino musical in Tagalog. Usap tayo. I send you all my love and best wishes.
Oh my God, I have so many memories of Audie when he did Annie. Speaking of Annie,
Yes.
he played Rooster.
Mhm.
Rooster Hannigan. So he was like the younger brother of Tita Bibot's character.
Mm.
And I remember just always looking forward to whenever he would be rehearsing. And I would always try to sit somewhere just so I could watch. Like sit somewhere in the front, like I was the audience. And I was just so fixated on him because he was so talented and so committed and so in it. Whenever he was playing a role, he was just so deep in it. And it was he was so beautiful to watch. You know, his body, this long, until now pa naman he has this long, slim body that could do anything. And any role he played, he was just always so fantastic. It's just wonderfully talented.
True. That's true. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you, Audie, for the message. He mentioned mentoring. So, The Voice,
Yeah.
2017. So,
Yeah.
what's the experience like for you? I mean, you enjoy, of course, you enjoy it, right? But,
I
you know,
do
what do you
enjoy
like?
it. I do.
Yeah.
When was the first season of The Voice? 2013, I think, for The Voice of the Philippines, when we had adults. That was like the first season of that franchise of any version. We've done The Voice Teens, and The Voice Kids. So and the most successful versions of the show are teens and kids, especially kids, because it's so unpredictable and the kids are so raw and emotionally so accessible. They don't hide their emotions. So what you see is what you get, but you also get some of these incredibly talented young people. And so a lot of the time when somebody leaves the room after their audition, it's like we all turn to each other and go, how on earth? And I usually tell myself, my God, this is like the best job in the world, because we get to see these amazingly talented young people. Not everybody obviously is going to be successful. It's hard, but there are some of those who are just so determined to make it that some of them join other contests after The Voice, or end up starting to do work, or some of the ones who were already working then join us, and then they go back to working. So it's an interesting thing. But it's so amazing that the degree of talent and the amount of talent that exists in this country, and it's from all walks of life. Yeah, some kids are like kids who grew up on a farm, kids who grew up in cities. Some kids are from, urban poor. Some of the other kids, have a better lot in life. But the cool thing is that the blind audition equalizes everybody. Because when you open your mouth to sing for that blind audition and our backs are turned, we don't know where you're from. We don't know what your lot in life was. We don't know if you're rich, if you're poor, if you're in the middle. We have no idea. So the thing that gets you forward is your talent. And then after that, once we start turning, and then we watch as you develop, we watch as you grow in the competition, and as a vocalist. And then we're always watching with very keen interest. And it's interesting. There will be kids, and even with the teens and even adults, the personalities do come out. And some of it good, some of it not so good. And people talk in the studio. If someone is if somebody's not a good person, that goes around so fast. And it's unfortunate. So yeah, so for us, when we hear of someone that's not the greatest human in the show, we try to take ourselves out of it, and we try to still be very, very fair and objective. But we also know, because we've been in the business forever, if you're not a good human, your days basically are numbered. Because no one's going to want to work with you.
Totoo yan. Yeah.
That's
That's very, very true. Yeah. Very, very true.
Yeah.
It's important to be a good human in any industry, actually, but I think all the more in the industry that we're in.
And I'm sure you've seen it. I mean, your mom's
Yeah.
like an institution in the industry, and so I'm sure that she has seen the good and the bad. And there are stories that I hear of the not so great people and how they behave, and how the good people suddenly snap. I've heard stories of someone who wasn't doing who was misbehaving on a set. Finally, one of the good people snapped, took this person aside, and laid into them so hard. I couldn't help but applaud. I was like, yes, that had to happen. It was bound to happen. I'm so happy it happened. And it's like it was overdue. There and when you, because obviously we're not going to be exposing one another. We're not going to out, the good people, the bad people, or what.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know what? Kasi industriya pa rin ito. We're not going to badmouth other people. I'm not the type to do that. But I'm still a human being. And knowing what I know,
That's
if I start doing a happy dance in my bedroom, because I heard that a good person, and like somebody that I know, a good person lays into a not so good person because that not so good person was misbehaving on a set, on a rehearsal, and a show. If I hear about things like that, I'm doing a happy dance in my bedroom in my pajamas, because it's like that needed to happen. So I'm celebrating by myself.
Put the person in the right place to that. I can imagine.
And then sometimes I'll send a text. I heard what you did.
Thank you.
Thank you from all of us.
Exactly. Okay, so we're almost at the end, but I still have 2 videos. So this is second. This is the second to the last. Sige, Sean, let's go.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lea. One thing I remember when I got to the set for Yellow Rose, that was Lea's last shooting day, and they had to do so many scenes. And one of the scenes that really stuck in my heart was that when she was singing Dahil Sa'yo, and everybody knows Lea is just so wonderful when she sings, and she sings with her heart and soul, that you can really feel with each word yung pakiramdam ng isang ina na nagmamahal sa kanyang anak. So yeah, it drove everyone, including me, to tears, dahil nararamdaman mo talaga yung pagmamahal niya sa anak niya while she was singing that song. And I have so much respect for Lea, for all that she has done in her career, in how hard she works, her ethics, everything that she is. I just have so much respect for her. So I wish you well, Lea, and may there be more opportunities for you, dahil you should be working, you should be there, you should be performing. Everybody loves you, Lea.
Ako, I want to watch.
That woman is a gripo. I mean, she always was, even when she was working here. Now she's in the US, married with a little girl. And she's another one of those people na laging may special na sumusunod sa kanila when they're on film. She's just one of those. And her performance in Yellow Rose is not to be missed. She's so fantastic in it. Galing talaga niya. And her chemistry with Eva, who plays her daughter, the two of them together was beautiful to watch. And you'll have to have an icy heart to not be affected by the performances in the movie. I can't wait for people to see it.
December 22 on
Yeah.
Amazon Prime. Yeah.
On Prime
Yeah,
Video.
Prime Video. What was that like? Two generations of Miss Saigon, right? Eva Noblezada
Yeah.
and you. Yeah.
With
So
me and Eva Noblezada, and her performance in this in Yellow Rose, for me, I think once more people get to see her, it's yeah, if not for this pandemic, she would be working so much more on film and on television. Um, and her style of acting is really great for that medium.
right.
With a huge personality, incredible voice, wonderful human being, incredibly talented, and a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun to be around. Um, yeah, so she's a superstar on film. So yeah, this was shot, I think, our first day.
Oh,
Um, yeah, which is like second day of work, but first day of shooting. Um, and yeah, she just has a really strong presence on film.
film.
Lovely, lovely, lovely girl.
Yeah.
Well, not girl, young woman.
Yeah. Way to watch that. Okay. So we're present time na now, diba?
Present time, pandemic.
Present time na, pandemic. And but you know what a career you've had, right? Is there what else do you want to do? What are you looking forward to doing when the pandemic is, when we've crossed over to life after COVID-19? What kind of
I don't know. I'd like to kind of pick up where I left off, which would be preparing for a tour, getting ready for concerts again. Yeah, I'm so physically, like, my stamina is not the same as it normally is when I do concert tours, which is like really, really strong. So I think next year is going to be spent just getting my physical self back, and I have to use as incentive. You have to go back on tour again, so you have to get yourself physically prepared. I think a lot of concert artists know the drill, and so I have to treat myself like a concert artist again, starting next year at some point. Yeah, in order to prepare. For me, because my mindset is, if I don't have something or a goal to work towards, like, why? I'll just stay home and eat ice cream. you know? And I've got some really good ice cream in my freezer. So yeah, and I found myself to be the type of person that if I know I'm working towards a goal, or like here I have a tour that starts in, say, kunyari, I'll throw out the dates. Kunyari, June of 2022, I will be touring again.
Yeah.
Kunyari.
Yeah.
So whatever I do is in preparation for that. It's in preparation and readying myself for that, so that when I start touring again and when I start concertizing again, I don't run out of breath, I don't get dizzy, I don't feel like I am lacking in strength, in power, physically. All the stuff that's important from the neck down that aids in my singing. Pero pag walang incentive, it's like I'll just stay home, play video games, watch BTS on YouTube, and call it a day. Yeah, that's it. Ganun lang. Yun ang buhay ko. I play video games, I bake a lot of sourdough bread, and I watch BTS.
Oh, yeah. I heard the sourdough bread is like really good. I mean, was that paano yun, di ba? Because you had your whole year. Well, a lot of us had a whole year practically, di ba, naka-plancha na eh. And then suddenly, it's like, okay. So how is it?
When I prepare for tours or a year in advance, everything is already set. The dates are set, airline tickets, visa applications, name it. All the paperwork starts.
Yes.
And it's like tuloy-tuloy na siya. And it's the 9 to 5 of that.
Right.
But all of that got canceled. So, ayan, tigil lahat. So it's like, all right, what am I gonna do? So I allowed myself to see this time as a time to just stop and be thankful that I got to stop. There's always a little bit of that anxiety na I am not supposed to be here in my house. I'm supposed to be in Hawaii or in Los Angeles or in New York City or in Philadelphia or wherever, on a stage with a band and performing in front of people. Obviously, I can't do that right now. and there aren't a lot of places where I can do it. Every day I look at numbers, hoping that they just continue to go down. I've asked my doctor friends, so how is it in the hospitals? And thankfully, they're saying,
Yeah.
we're not overwhelmed, and that's good. I hear news happening in the States where like ICU capacity is now parang zero, meaning there is no more room in ICU, which makes me feel
Yeah.
worse.
Right.
But here, it's not the greatest of situations compared to say Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to hear the words, yeah, the hospitals are not overwhelmed. It makes me feel better. So which means that there is room that if you have appendicitis, or if you're about to give birth, or if you have a heart valve that needs to be replaced, you can get it done. Because it's not like you're gonna be entering the hospital and it's puro COVID lang yung nasa paligid mo. Or they're not the only patients taking up space. There will be room for you if an emergency appendectomy is absolutely necessary. But there are also less people now in the hospitals now.
Yes. That's true.
Yeah, because people are scared to go to the hospital. But the irony of that is, if you really need medical attention, you have to go. So I get the mindset of, I try to understand and be empathetic for all sides of that.
Right.
It's hard, though. Yeah.
Where you mentioned earlier, you're a BTS fan.
Super.
Of course, the question had to be asked, right? So, kasi for other people, like I discovered Korean drama over the pandemic, okay, and that's been my thing. So, what has been your thing during this pandemic, and is BTS a part of that?
BTS is a huge part of it. I think I found them. It was Dynamite. That was the gateway.
Yes.
It was like, oh, what is this? You kind of hear the name, but you don't take it super seriously. I mean, 2 years ago, I think I saw them. It was like, what was it? Like a New Year's Eve into 2019. Because I went back to Once on This Island to finish out the run. So I was there after Christmas Day. I flew and I stayed until like January, like 7 or 8, something like some weird number like that. So I saw a performance on New Year's Eve, and I was asking already on Twitter, who are these Korean boys doing this? Because they're good.
Yes.
Pero hindi ko masyadong sineryoso. I didn't look for them, And then here came Dynamite, and I'm like, oh my God, this is giving me so much life.
Yes.
And so I started looking online, who are they? Who are they? And then at first you want to just know their names. Minsan ganun eh. You just want to know which member is whom.
Yeah.
And that starts you on this journey into listening to more, watching more videos, looking for every single production number in the award shows. And it's mind-blowing. The production value, the choreography, just the singing. And I've heard them sing a cappella. They're actually good. So it's like these boys are so talented. And then you hear about the work ethic. You hear about the struggles at the very beginning of their career. And you just gain this massive amount of respect because they started off at a small company that was on the verge of bankruptcy, and they didn't always have money to buy food. They all shared one bedroom, like 7 young men in one bedroom. Like, how do you make that work? I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Like, where else is that going to happen? And they're even thankful that that happened that way because of how close they are to one another. And how right now, they're all still living in one apartment together. Yes, kanya-kanyang kwarto, but still, it's like these are men from ages of 23 to 28. And they're all still living in one apartment together. Well, one of them not right now because he's injured, and I think he went home. So it's like how do they make it work?
Yes.
And how they speak of one another is the other thing. They always speak about each other with kindness. And with respect.
Yes.
And if there's any bad mouthing, it's always done in fun. Na parang I saw one video, it's like, yeah, you go back to your actor friends who don't want to play with you anymore. Yung mga ganon.
Yes,
Here.
yes.
And it's like they're a family in how they deal with one another. And you can see how much they respect each other and how much they love each other when they're on stage together. It's a beautiful thing to watch. I'm like, this is a once in a lifetime sort of a
Yes.
because I don't think I see it in other groups. Not quite like this. This is something very, very special. So I understand why people latch onto them, why people admire them and respect them. I love them for their work ethic and their discipline and the amount of actual work they put into the performances that they do. It's like I haven't seen anything like this in the world of pop music. It's very unique and very, very special.
BTS. Okay. Okay, my final video, I saved the best for last, diba?
Of course you did.
This is well, someone who I would say knows you very well, and I think maybe one of your favorite persons. I just met this person actually also very recently, and I said, okay, all right, Cholo, let's do
Hi.
it.
First, full disclosure. Before I was a doctor, I was the fan, and I've grown into an even bigger fan since. What my fondest memories of Lea are? Well, I can think of two. One, it probably looked more like a bolt of lightning struck me the first time she set foot in the clinic. Having the Miss Saigon in the flesh. The greatest singer and bona fide Broadway singer this country has produced is every voice doctor's dream. And since then, I've come to know more of the Lea Salonga, the ordinary Lea Salonga, the one who gets sick, the one who sits unappointed by herself, who just comes into the clinic in her sweats, who reads a magazine and doesn't mind sitting it out in the waiting room until it's her turn. Her vocal cords look just like everyone else's. But one who's happiest when she's with her family and being stuck with a good video game. The one who's crabbiest when she's stuck in traffic and when she hears a crappy singer. But she's also not your ordinary Lea. She doesn't want to get fussed over with. She has no cordon sanitaire of Howie boys and girls. She sets appointments by herself. But her voice discipline is unlike everyone else's. The standard she sets on herself and on people who share her art and passion is out of this world. And she is also her own worst critic. She could actually play the role of diva, and people would let her. People would not mind at all, but she does mind. She's very outspoken. We all know that. She's funny, but sometimes her humor borders on the weird and irreverent. And I could say that she is the peg upon which this humble doctor has measured other celebrities and lesser known mortals. My second best memory of her was when she surprised me during my 50th birthday celebration a few years back. Surprised because she said she wasn't coming, and then she came. She went on stage, and I took that chance not to let her get off the stage until I'm able to sing a song with her. Because once upon a time, this humble doctor was a young med student who cut classes to audition for Miss Saigon. Obviously, I didn't get in, but since then I've had this wild dream of one day sharing the same stage with the Miss Lea Salonga, and she made it happen that night. And it was so magical. I wouldn't forget it. That was one memory that would last a lifetime for me. What my wish for her, for Lea, when she herself turns golden next year, well, I wish that people and producers out there would allow her to get out of the box, that Lea Salonga mold, and have her take on more roles that would showcase and expand her versatility. Have you seen her? Have you seen her take the role of Mrs. Lovett in Swing It On? Wow, she was fantastic. She completely nailed it. Everyone was aghast that it was Lea Salonga on stage. When I saw her, I didn't see Lea Salonga. I saw Mrs. Lovett. She was absolutely devilishly delicious, wickedly funny. I wish for more roles like that for her and for many other roles. And of course, I wish her all the happiness in the world and more success with Rob, with Nick, with Javard, DJ, and family, and of course, Tita Ligaya, and the whole of the Philippines rallying behind this living national treasure and our future national artist.
Oh, that was lovely.
Thank you to my friend Dr. Wen for linking me with Dr. Melfred Hernandez. Wow, he sounds like a really wonderful doctor, huh?
Yeah, really good guy. We have to also credit, there was somebody else who linked us together. Beth Tirona Pangan, Jet Pangan's wife. I think her sister Agnes is another colleague of Melfred. I think it was through that connection that linked me to Melf, because his speciality is the professional voice. So people who have to use their voices for a living, singers, announcers, I guess even radio DJs, anybody that uses their voice for an extended period of time professionally, he's the guy to go to. So I've recommended him to a few other singers, other celebrities also, and they've just been happy with him. But yeah, everything that he said there, some of it's hyperbole, but for the most part, it's true.
Wonderful siya. I saw that video actually from his birthday where you sang, and that was like really.
Yeah, because I did say I can't come. I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm so sorry. And then of course I'm there, waiting upstairs, and just waiting for my turn, and then I end up, surprise.
That's really wonderful, Lea. And I would say your influence, your impact on so many Cats generations, di ba? Imagine, I mean, very few people are able to do that. So, grabe. I mean, I was just talking to I sabi ko, sige, I will tell Lea, thank you very much because of you, I have my lawyer is such a huge fan of yours. Sabi niya, please tell Lea, I would not have passed the board exams if it were not for, she's kind of wacky. So you were doing Miss Saigon at that time. So she would sing now, all your songs from Miss Saigon and listen to them as she was reviewing for the board. So that's Attorney Mylene Yumul Espina. Thank you very much. Because of you, I have a wonderful lawyer and a wonderful friend. So maraming salamat. Remember, some time ago, when the pandemic, I don't know if you remember this, I said, diba, I think this pandemic will give us gifts, diba?
Yes.
And we gotta list those gifts along the way. And true enough, 9 months later, right? Although it's been difficult, really difficult for many people, for everyone actually, there also have been many gifts along the way. So what gifts have you found in your own life over the last
life? Just parang the reminder that it's never too late to learn a skill and something new. It's never too late to pick up a skill that you already had, because now all of a sudden I have the time. So I think the biggest gift I think has been time. time here at home, um, time to think, time to just be and exist. Um, yeah, so I think that's just been the biggest gift. Um, time, time to
Time.
rest and time to stop. Yeah.
And did you discover something new about yourself that you will carry moving forward to the life?
Uh, I don't know. I guess I discovered that. Oh yeah, I still have that youthful part of you doesn't go away. You know, yeah. I mean, that I fangirl over a boy band. It's like, it's like that youthful. There's a part of your youthful self that never leaves, and it's a nice thing to rediscover and find. That ay nandyan pala. Yung pagkabata ko hindi siya natatanggal. Hindi pa siya umaalis. That yes, I'm turning 50 nga next year, but there's a part of me that feels like I'm still 25 or something like that. And it's nice to know that that part of me still exists. Yeah. And I think there's a part of that's a part of that of a lot of people that should never go away, and it might be the one secret to eternal youth. It's to still have, I have an irreverent sense of humor, and it's to keep your humor. It's to not take anybody or anything too seriously. It's loving where you are at that moment, whatever that moment might be, even if it's a crappy moment. It's still trying to find whatever joy in it.
Never lose the wonder, right?
Yeah.
No matter what
Don't
age.
ever lose that childlike sense of curiosity, inquisitiveness, because I think those are the things that keep you young. And I think beyond any skincare regimen or routine, there has to be joy that comes from within and emanates. And it is true, because if you're like a happy person, it comes out in your face. If you're miserable, that also comes out, and there's no faking it. So I think I consider myself incredibly lucky that there are these things that I've still been able to hang on to.
True. I want to show this. This is a nice message. Miss Lea, thank you for keeping us sane during this time of nawala. During this time of uncertainty. You have no idea how many lives you have touched with your music. That is true, Swift Reyes. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Message. Yeah, it's a very nice one. From Sleepyhead, Miss Lea, you and your music saved us, especially during this time of uncertainty. Thank you for the inspiration. So, Lea, any message, for your many, many fans? Tama na kami ni Cholo doon, di ba? We're still gonna live through this period for a while.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna still be in this situation for a while until until vaccinations become more, So I think the only message is to remain. All I can say is remain patient, and always strive to find joy. Even if it's a crappy situation that you might find yourself in, there will always be joy somewhere, and it's not always the easiest thing to find, but it's always a good. You can even find joy in the finding of joy, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So I think the only thing and especially in the season of Advent, is always strive to find joy and never lose your youthful curiosity. Because those are the things I think that will keep you constantly engaged and active. That's it. And hang on to your friends. Even if you're not socially, physically among them, there is always going to be love that comes through naman. And there's always going to be an exchange of affection and admiration and respect.
That's true. Thank you, Doc, for being our sunshine. Yes, diba? Lea Salonga, my gosh, thank you so much. This is like
Thank you too.
best interview ever, but thank you. It was wonderful. Wow, thank you for the Christmas gift for me, for Cholo, and for the legions of fans watching tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So take care and have a blessed Christmas.
Same to you. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Forward to your show in 2022, 50 years of Lea. Diba?
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, don't go away. We'll be right back.
We'll be back. Conversations with Kathy will be right back.
Wow, diba? I think this is our longest show ever, but it was hard to stop because there's still so many things that we could have talked about or wanted to ask Lea. And thank you so much for staying with us. This is our episode 20, and this is our last show for the year. We'll be back in 2021 na. So Cholo, please come and join me.
Ay, Mas Kat. Nako, sobrang I don't even know what to say right now. Sobrang nag-enjoy ako, Miss Cathy. And what I really find interesting is parang lahat ng generations nandito ngayon sa live natin. Like, everyone from, di ba, dinaanan natin yung decades ni Lea.
Exactly.
Parang, you can even see na each one of us is at a certain point of our own decades.
Yes.
And parang si Lea siguro, Miss Cat, na you may not know it, pero you're inspiring people. You don't have to be a Lea Salonga or alam niyo yun.
That's right.
It's the little things.
People within your own, diba, sphere of influence. So
yes, Miss Cat. And if totoo po ang sinasabi niya na it's about finding joy, since it's our last show, I want to say thanks kasi this show has helped both of us find our own joys, Len.
Yes, this is our joy for 2020, bringing joy into your homes on Friday nights.
Yes, Miss Cat.
We hope to continue that in 2021. We'll be back in January. Diba?
And if you guys want to see any guest in the future, just comment it down below, and we'll try our best.
Or send us a message on our Facebook page. Okay, and thank you, Cholo, for being there.
Thank you, Miss Cat. Sobrang nag-enjoy ako.
Diba? So we will end with this beautiful work by Bing and the quote from Mulan. Syempre, diba, Lea Salonga. The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. Lahat tayo, di ba? We have bloomed in adversity somehow. So, we find, di ba, that makes us all beautiful.
Yes, Miss Cat.
In one way or another. Everybody has that beauty. The pandemic has been difficult for all of us, but like I said, there have been many gifts that we found, and there is still beauty to be found, even in the most difficult of situations.
I agree, Miss Cat.
Thank you so much, Cholo.
Thank you so much, Miss Cat. Thanks everyone for staying hanggang grabe, Miss Cat. It's, anong oras po sa inyo? 10:25?
Yeah. Cholo is in Chicago, so good morning.
Ito yung morning. So, sorry guys. We tried our best.
Yes. So, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Miss Cat.
Keep safe, okay? Keep safe, and we'll all see you in the new year. Take
Bye.
care. God bless. Bye.
Thank you for joining this evening's conversation. See you next Friday night.
tears can't help but show. You know you've always had my heart. From now on we'll never part. It's your smile, your face, your lips that I miss. Those sweet little eyes that stare at me and make me say I'm with you through all the way. 'Cause it's you that fills the emptiness in me, changes everything I see when I know